See, men are in a lose-lose situation most of the time. If you saw the video, where this is a response to the video where the gentleman was crying because he had over the spool of wire, and his wife didn't understand, and she just went making jokes and everything. This is the losing situation of men. You see, I have to remain calm right now. I have to maintain my bearing, because if I don't, then a lot of women out there would say, oh, it's toxic masculinity. You didn't have to talk like that. You didn't have to be like that. You didn't have to respond to this. What I believe is a young lady, because the name on there was TT, that you didn't have to respond like that. So TT, initially she said the woman should have realized her mistake and what she should have went back to him and try to make peace about it and try to understand. But then she messed up. I want to use a different terminology and not say that she messed up, but say that she effed up. When she said, but also to be fair. Let me tell you something right now. As soon as you first started out saying that, and also to be fair, there is no freaking fairness at all when it comes to this situation. There's absolutely zero fairness whatsoever. And to say that, and to suggest that instead of him being disgusted and storming off, that he should have responded differently, that he should have all of a sudden took her feelings into consideration by saying that you're joking around right now, makes me wonder if I made a mistake with sharing my thoughts. Why in the 3 levels of hell is it his responsibility to then be able to take on her emotions and make sure she's all right? You see, that's one of the problems that we have in this society. See, if I sit up here and I said that, y'all, they like to say men need to learn how to control their anger. Men need to learn how to control their aggression. Men need to grow and become mature in their emotional maturity. But men also need to be vulnerable. But when do we tell women that they need to grow up? When do we tell women that they need to grow and learn to control their emotions? When do we tell women that they need to stop putting every woman in the victim space and then make it seem like it's a man's responsibility to make sure the woman doesn't feel like a victim? When does the woman realize that all women aren't victims and all women don't need some level of excuse for you to be able to say that now the man should have done? The man was physically crying. Physically crying. It's one thing if he was just staring off into space, just contemplating. But in the video, the woman comes up and says, I see that you're crying. So if a man is physically crying, there is absolute, and the woman shows no sympathy or empathy, and this is supposed to be his wife. Decades. And the man is showing the woman is showing no sympathy or empathy, and he's physically crying. Physically crying. He doesn't have to console her, correct her, or sit up there and take it. He shouldn't have to suck it up and go and make sure she's all right so that their communication can be correct. If she's so emotionally immature that when she doesn't see that he is physically crying, that is not a time to be joking about a freaking Jets hat, then that woman ain't worth it. And y'all need to stop giving women passes. Stop giving your fellow women excuses. That's part of the bullshit. That is part of the bullshit. And that's I know. I'm gonna get some kickback on this one because you should have been more respectful, or you should have maintained your bearing. You should have been more tactful. I don't give 2 rats' asses about what y'all think I should have done, because I am physically displaying my frustration and anger with the idea that this woman started crying. This woman saw her husband crying, and you think he has some level of responsibility to fix her broken ass levels of sympathy and empathy. Man, please. Go ahead, say what y'all gotta say. And always remember, you gotta free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.